December 1945. Upper Egypt, a peasant named Muhammad al-Khalsaman is digging for fertilizer near the cliffs of Jebel al-Grif. His shovel strikes something hard. Not a stone, not a root. He unearths a sealed jar, nearly a meter tall. Inside, he finds 13 leather-bound papyrus codices books that have been sleeping for 1,600 years. He didn't know it then, but he had just discovered the atomic bomb of Christian history. These were the Nag Hammadi Library. Inside these pages were not the Gospels, you know. There was no Sermon on the Mount, no parables of the prodigal son. Instead, there were diagrams of a multi-dimensional cosmos, visions of a feminine Holy Spirit, and a Jesus who spoke not of sin, but of illusion. Hidden within one of these texts, Sophia of Jesus Christ, lies a blueprint that the Church tried to erase, a map of 12 parallel universes, 12 eons of light and shadow, ruled by forces that manipulate human destiny. For 2,000 years, you have been told a simplified story, a story of one God, one world, and one timeline. But what if Christ's true mission was to show us the exit door from this simulation? To understand the 12 universes, we must first understand the battlefield. Christianity in the 2nd century was not a monolith. It was a wild, untamed garden. In the basilicas of Rome, bishops were building a hierarchy of obedience. But in the lecture halls of Alexandria, Gnostic teachers like Valentinus and Basileus were teaching a secret Christianity. Visual, a chart showing the emanation of divine attributes like silence, mind, truth, and life. They didn't call themselves Gnostics. That was a label given by their enemies. They called themselves telestai, those who aim, or the initiated. To them, the Jesus of the mainstream church was a caricature, a flat, 2D figure. The Gnostic Christ was a cosmic hacker, a being from the pleroma, the fullness, who descended into the Kenoma, the void, to break the code of the matrix. Their texts, like the Apocryphon of John, described a universe that wasn't created by a loving father, but by a blind craftsman, demiurge, a being of chaos who trapped sparks of divine light in bodies of flesh. This was dangerous. This was heresy. If the creator of this world is flawed, then obedience to the world is slavery. This is why the bishops burned the books. This is why the map of the 12 universes was buried in a jar. So, what is the map? In the Sophia of Jesus Christ and the Gospel of the Egyptians, the Gnostics lay out a staggering cosmology. It is not who's heaven and earth. It is a hierarchy of 12 eons. Think of them as dimensions of consciousness. 12 filters that separate you from the source. The lower eons, the prison. The lower universes are ruled by the Archons, the rulers. These are the forces of planetary fate. In ancient astrology, they corresponded to the 7 visible planets: Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, etc. Each Archon guards a gate. They feed on your emotional energy, fear, lust, anger, pride. To the Gnostic, sin isn't breaking a rule. It's getting stuck in the gravity of a lower eon, the middle eons. The mirror here lies the realm of Sophia wisdom. Sophia is the tragic heroine of Gnostic myth. She is the eon who tried to know the unknowable and fell into darkness, accidentally creating the material world. These universes are the realm of the soul psyche. It is a place of learning, but also of illusion. It is where we mistake symbols for reality. The higher eons, the bridal chamber, the highest universes, are the realm of the spirit pneuma. Here, the Gospel of Philip speaks of the bridal chamber. This is not a physical room. It is a state of being where the duality of subject and object collapses, where the masculine and feminine energies within you reunite. This is the 12th universe. Exit. It sounds like science fiction, but look at where modern physics is heading. String theory posits 10 or 11 dimensions. The multiverse theory suggests infinite parallel realities. The simulation hypothesis proposes that our reality is a coded construct. The Gnostics saw this 1,800 years ago without telescopes. They saw it with the inner eye. The Archons are the programs designed to keep you in the simulation. The divine spark is the user consciousness trapped in the avatar. The Gnosis is the red pill. Christ, in the Nag Hammadi texts, functions as the external signal, the wake-up call sent from outside the system to remind you that you are not the avatar. The system we live in is a vampire system, says the second treatise of the Great Seth. It feeds on your forget. When you identify with your trauma, your political tribe, or your social status, you are powering the art. When you remember your origin in the 12th Aeon, you starve them. But this map is useless if you don't know how to read it. How do you navigate the 12 universes? The Gospel of Thomas gives us the method. Make the two one. When you make the inner like the outer, and the upper like the lower, and the male like the female, then you will enter the kingdom. This is the alchemy of consciousness. Observe the Archons. Watch your own mind. When you feel a sudden surge of jealousy or terror, realize it is an external program. Don't fight it. Observe Italiano. This is not me. Reclaim Sophia. Find the wisdom in your suffering. Every mistake you've made is a piece of Sophia's light trapped in matter. Retrieve it through forgiveness. Enter the bridal chamber. In your deep silence, merge your awareness with the awareness of God. Stop praying to God and start looking from God. You don't have to die to travel the universes. You travel them every time you shift your state of being. A moment of pure, unconditional love. You just touched the Aeon. A moment of paralyzing fear. You fell into the third. The ascension is not a vertical climb. It is a frequency shift. The monks who buried these texts knew the world wasn't ready. They knew that a religion of believe and obey was easier to sell than a religion of know and become. But the jar has been broken. The secret is out. The 12 universes are waiting. You are not a passive observer in a universe of dead matter. You are a traveler, an immortal spark navigating a labyrinth of light and shadow. The map is in your hands. The Christ of the Gnostics is whispering the password. The only question remaining is, are you brave enough to leave the prison? If you want to understand the specific rituals the Gnostics used to bypass the Ark or the secret teachings of Mary Magdalene and the Gospel of Philip, subscribe to the Gnostic Eye. We are just beginning to decode the library.